Okay, young man, we are learning Harvard legal course, legal class, justice. Okay, now this is the second class I teach you. So during the summer, you can join my whole class. Now we do one-on-one. And in the future, when you finish your summer program, your test, we will do that together. So last time we have good time together, just the justice, what's the right thing to do? Putting a price tag on life, like how can you justify you worth more, your life worth more than your old teacher, right? Okay, I'm old, you're young, right? I'm smarter, I know more stuff. You are smarter, but I know more stuff, right?
Yeah.
You are smarter, but I know more stuff. You have a longer life in front of you, I have a shorter life in front of you. If somebody hurt me and hurt you at the same degree of seriousness, right? Should they pay you more or should they compensate me more? What do you think? Or equal?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You don't think your teacher is more valuable than you?
No, but
you think you are more valuable than your teacher?
No,
So from a moral point of view, we should never ever putting a price tag on life, right? But in the big company, in law, in business, every day they will use utilitarianism by this British professor. That's how society functions. From as long as the modern era, in the whole modern era. And we are going to talk about also cost benefit. Analysis in business and also in legal cases. This is the code. They learn that in business school. But since we are, but it's also about law, justice. So we are going to study this whole thing. We will listen to the Harvard lecture. I'm sending you these wonderful materials. Now, the second one is not in the business, in the courtroom. Okay? Especially when they calculate about cost-benefit analysis of a justice policy. So we have a lot to discuss about. Criminal Justice Commission. Judges. So this class, we have to put you in the position of a jury or a judge, at least attorney. Make sense? So this is your first group of homework. Now, let's listen to this guy together. And then the main thing is we discuss.
Leads to the principle of the greatest good for the greatest number. What exactly should we maximize? Bentham tells us happiness, or more precisely, utility. Maximizing utility is a principle not only for individuals, but also for communities and for legislators. What after?
See, you have to put yourself into the community leader. A whole company, a whole community, a whole country. So they force you to think like a judge, like a community leader. You have the responsibility, but you have to give the right decision.
After all, is a community? Bentham asks. It's the sum of the individuals who comprise it. And that's why, in deciding the best policy, in deciding what the law should be, in deciding what's just, citizens and legislators should ask themselves the question, if we add up all of the benefits of this policy and subtract all of the costs, the right thing to do is the one that maximizes the balance of happiness over suffering.
So basically, a lot of legal cases, they change that into a mathematical equation. So, and this one is a real case. No, read this, go.
Michael Sanders exams some compensatory cases.
Contemporary cases, the real legal cases, go.
Such as a proposal of the tobacco company Philip Morris to increase the excise tax on smoking in Czech Republic, and amidst arguments and again, he asked the students questions like, how much would you have paid to have a little toe cut off what your life 1 is 6 inches long? Would you have your life on a farm in Kansas?
You are not a smoker, right? Are you?
No, no.
But Philip Morris is one of the biggest international cigarette company. Okay, so cost-benefit analysis for the Czech Republic. That's the very recent legal cases. Okay, the study was commissioned by the tobacco firm's Czech unit in response to a claim by the Czech health ministry that smoking caused overweight is a physical benefit. What is a physical benefit? What is physical benefit? Because government get tax dollar from each pack of cigarette you smoke. And the government need money to run. Like any family need money to run, right? Every corporation need money to run. But their citizens are dying from smoking cigarette, like lung cancer. It found the impact of smoking on Czech public finance to be net gain. Oh man, so they are making this one into a mathematical equation. So this one is a whole article. When you listen to it and you, that's not too long ago. That's only 19 years ago, a legal case. And also a public policy case. No, you read it from New York, CNN, the financial news. Go.
New York. Smokers' early death may be a boon to the Czech Republic's finance. A study commissioned last year by Philip Morris says U.S. consulting from Arthur D. Little International Inc. studies the impact of smoking on Czech Republic finances at Philip Morris's request. In November 2000, November 2000, the study of Microsoft Word document found the cost benefit of smokers' early mortality together with cigarette tax revenue.
Listen, what is the calculation about? If people smoke, they will die early. If people die early, right? When people retire, government and the society have to pay them pension. Yes or no?
Yes.
Social security money. They will have a free money from the government every month. When people are over 60 or 65, different countries are different. I don't know Czech Republic. Yeah. But basically, when people retire, they will get maybe several $100. I don't know the exact number. Government have to give them. Okay, it's good for the elderly people, right? So after long life struggle, they can finally relax, don't go to work and enjoy their life and spend time with their grandchildren, maybe, or traveling. But these people get sick very often, yes or no?
Yes.
And when they go to medical facilities, government have to pay a lot of time. Okay, the longer they live, the more they will cost for the government, and no government in the world like it. So basically, these consulting firm tell the Czech Republic, okay, buy more cigarettes from us. So these elderly people will die early. And again, every pack of cigarette, you as a government will get a little piece of action. So you will pay less, get more. Good job, right? It's good for your government. Outweighing the economic drawback.
Why does that always sound so wrong?
So sinister, right? So sinister, full of a sinister. So this one is a very good article, and your homework is to read this. This is the real legal case and the real debate, and I'm going to send you for fun a real good movie. Thank you for smoking. Thank you for smoking, because whenever people smoke, they really know how to talk. Debate. Ice cream politics. Cost benefit. So you listen carefully. This is a very good movie for debate, and they are using cost benefit analysis. Now, this further debate with the.
So what happens when you're wrong?
Oh, Joey, I'm never wrong.
But you can't.
That's a father. Your father is better. So your father never say to you, I'm always right, right? Using the freedom action. If you want to smoke, if you want to hurt your life, whose business is not the government business to stop you? Like the mask, right? If you don't want to wear the mask, don't, because that's a liberty. It's a nonsense argument, but it's a very good argument. These people get paid a lot of money to.
It's just like a John Grisham novel.
See, this is a legal case. This is a legal case. So now this class will force you to think like these people who control society.
You know, without all the espionage. Most importantly, we've got spin control.
And by the way, I'm always thinking I should teach John Grisham novels. There's a 10 or 20 novel, and probably 10 of them get into the movie. This guy is a real lawyer, but he earned tens of $millions writing legal novel from real life legal novel experience. So maybe next year I will teach you to read John Grisham's novel, The Firm, How to Run a Legal Firm.
Most importantly, we've got spin control. That's where
Spin control, the propaganda, the washing people's brain. Academy of Tobacco Studies, they do these researches. And it's not even joking. The scenario is not real, but representing the serious stuff. Watch this one yourself. Thank you for smoking. It's a wonderful debate. And they use a lot of rhetorical technique. Rhetorical, how to persuade people to listen to you. And they use cost-benefit analysis. But I cannot just show you too long because there's copyright thing. And the YouTube will say, no, you cannot show him too much. Therefore, you read these articles for me. You listen to the Harvard thing, okay? And you read this wonderful article. Now, keep on reading. Part two, Professor Sandel, go.
Goes to, you mentioned the start from his college years at Oxford. There may be no knocked out argument against the claim that moral goods can be translated. All moral goods can be translated without loss into a single measure value. But here's a further case that calls a claim into question. In the 1970s, when I was a graduate student at Oxford, there were separate colleges for men and women. The women's colleges have parental rules against men just staying overnight in women's rooms. These rules were rarely enforced and easily violated, so I was told. Most of the college officials no longer saw as their rules to enforce traditional notions of sexual mortality.
Morality. What is right and wrong? Go.
Pressure goes to relaxation, which becomes a subject of debate at St. Anne's College, one of the all-women's colleges.
So basically they said, okay, what's the teacher, what's the university's rule? Do we treat students as a customer? Or we treat them as a students, we can force them to do the right thing? Right, Stanley? It's my responsibility to force you to do the right thing, or I treat you like a customer? You pay me, no, your mom, your parents pay me. Oh, you don't pay me anything, okay? And therefore, I will make you happy. I will tell you you are great. Which one you prefer? So every day you learn with me, I will say, Stanley, you are wonderful kids. You are the best. You are so precious and you're so smart, even though you don't do any homework. So that is really a lot of moral debate, okay? So China have this debate, England have this debate, US is in the process of debate.
That's what it means to maximize utility. Now, today, I want to see whether you agree or disagree with it. And it often goes, this utilitarian logic, under the name of cost-benefit analysis.
And I'm going to show you many cases and mathematical equation of cost-benefit analysis, okay? And show you the legal case and the merger acquisition case. I mean, buy and sell company.
Which is used by companies and by governments all the time.
US government use that equation all the time on a daily basis.
And what it involves is placing a value, usually a dollar value, to stand for utility on the costs and the benefits of various proposals. Recently in the Czech Republic, there was a proposal to increase the excise tax.
I explained to you what is excess taxes. Okay, I already explained to you, but there's a whole article I want you to listen to.
On smoking. Philip Morris, the tobacco company, does huge business in the Czech Republic. They commissioned a study, a cost-benefit analysis of smoking in the Czech Republic. And what their cost-benefit analysis found was the government gains by having Czech citizens smoke. Now, how do they gain? It's true that there are negative effects to the for the that there. And when all of the costs and benefits were added up, the Philip.
Look at this. Now you read why people smoking is good for the government. Go read it. Benefit.
Tax revenue from cigarette sales, health care saving.
Pension saving. Okay. I mentioned to you every month, elderly people get a piece of check, get a check from the government. That's their pension.
Housing costs.
So a lot of poor people, elderly people, they live in the government supported housing facility. You don't want them to live on the street. Therefore, the government have to take care of them. If they die early, government save money. That is some people talk about in the COVID-19 time. If the elderly people die, government save money. So is that a good reason to tell the government, don't give medicine or medical care for the elderly people during the COVID-19 time, just let them die? Is a good argument or not a good argument? Stanley?
No.
It's not a good argument, but then you have to think about why. Now, cost-benefit analysis for justice policy, a step-by-step guidance. See, these people write guidance for the judges to calculation. Now, read for me, go. Oh, these are the powerful people, go.
Cost-benefit knowledge bank for criminal justice as a project of the Institute of Justice funded by U.S. Department of Justice.
Okay, basically they have a lot of resources and they are teaching people how to talk about what they are going to teach them. Wow. They are treating the court system as an investment project. Explain the cost of crime and the benefit from crime avoided. How to justify basically pay more money for prison. Discuss the prison economy. No, go, read this, go.
How that discussion on prison economics and return on investments from
Incarceration is put people in prison. Go.
Incarceration. Deconstructed cause into the component of estimates, probability, and sentencing distribution. Interpreted and effect and demonstrating how effect sizes are used to produce CBA findings.
So through study of these materials, Oregon State cost-benefit model preview the data and they calculate, wow. So eventually your job is to understand taxpayer and the victimization cost of a crime in this year. Inflation adjustment.
Almost suicide. Arrest. Why 要花这么多钱啊?
Yeah, that's a lot of money to run a school system. You put one guy in prison for 4 years.
Wait, what does out of pocket mean?
Out of pocket, the government out of pockets. The government have to pay a lot of money to put these people in jail.
Wait, then homicide, what is homicide?
Homicide, kill people, murder. Homicide is murder. Different cases. Homicide, rape, sex offenses, robbery, robbery, assault, attack people, property, stolen stuff, drug using. Okay, so the great thing about the US is that they put all these legal information here. And it's your job to understand the probability conviction lead to prison. If you convict them homicide, 92%, why not 100%? They already kill people. Some people don't have to go to jail. For example, 12-year-old boy kill some elderly people.
What?
They usually don't go to jail because they're not old enough. Yeah. So very exceptional. Okay. So sex offense, only 62% of people go to jail. The rest of them don't. Wow.
Where do they go to?
Then they do probation, local control, community. I'm going to teach you what is a probation system. Probation is this: you don't have to go to jail, but you go to your local community, you do your job, and you see your probation officer every month.
Oh.
Okay, that's the probation. So that's how the government is thinking.
Wow.
Okay? And how much money they spend on each prisoner stay in jail, calculating the cost of offense. Okay. Wow. See, mathematical calculation. What is the estimated cost of assault, attack you in the face and you're bleeding? Yeah. So these are the calculation. Now read this. Out-of-pocket victim. What is victim? People hurt by these attackers go to pay medical doctors. All the money lost, the salary lost. Because people be attacked, cannot go to work, so they will lose money. Okay. Quality of life, cost. because when people were staying in hospital, the quality of life are negative, yes or no?
Yeah.
So lying on the bed and under operation. So each people being victimized, you give them a number, 20K. 20K. Arrest. And put them into conviction. The court, how the judge got paid. The legal system. Now read it, go.
Cost of conviction. 那么多呀？
对呀。Yeah, judges are very expensive. They are very expensive. Adult correction facility, stay in prison. Wow, every year. That much money. Almost like putting people into university system. After 4 years.
Why don't they
wow.
Instead of sending them to prison, why don't they just send them to university?
Because you don't want these people who killed people to go to Harvard with you, right? People get what they deserve on drug issue in the United States. Cost benefit for 100 drug court participants. So these are the documents I want you to eventually be able to understand in the dollar terms. So they really calculate like accountant. Homicide case, sex case, robbery, assault, property, drug, and other statistics. Okay. And how the cost taxpayer benefit. So I send this one to you, flip through them, and then you can understand a lot.
Housing costs for the elderly. And when all of the costs and benefits were added up, the Philip Morris study found that there is a net public finance gain in the Czech Republic of $147 million.
Basically what they say, if you encourage your people to smoke cigarette, buy Philip Morris product, the government will save this much of money.
And given the savings in housing and healthcare and pension costs, the government enjoys a savings of over $1,200 for each person who dies prematurely due to smoking.
Therefore, government benefit from people's early deaths. That's how this thinking tank gave Czech Republic advice.
Cost-benefit analysis. Now, those among you who are defenders of utilitarianism may think that this is an unfair test. Philip Morris was pilloried in the press, and they issued an apology for this heartless calculation.
It's a real case.
You may say that what's missing here is something that the utilitarian can easily incorporate, namely, the value to the person and to the families of those who die from lung cancer. What about the value of life? Some cost-benefit analyses incorporate a measure for the value of life. One of the most famous of these involved the Ford Pinto case. Did any of you read about that? This was back in the 1970s. Do you remember what the Ford Pinto was?
Ford Pinto is small little car. Ford Pinto case. This is a legal case of legal compensation. Okay.
What happened with that case?
Pinto case study. Ford Pinto case. Cost benefit analysis. Case study. Yeah, we studied this kind of thing in business school, law school, and business school. For the Pinto case, utilitarian ethics. See, I'm getting you the exactly exact case study for the Pinto case, utilitarian ethics. Now read it for me, go. What is the essential feature of utilitarianism?
Massive pleasure or happiness. Maximize pleasure or happiness. Calculate empirical balance of pleasure over pain or happiness over measure. Tends to ignore individual rights, classicism, minority sacrifice for the majority. Does Mill's rules utilitarianism get around the question?
So what is the case, the meaning, aim of this lesson? They change the benefit, and you need to know for the Pinto case. Now read this. We stay by viewing a clip on the Ford Pinto.
We start by reviewing a clip on the Fort Pinto. What key 3 facts can you find? View actively.
Safety style over safety. Now this is a cool looking little car, right? Cool looking little vehicle, but it's not safe. People, especially young people, are willing to pay. But once they crash, people die. There's more possibility for the people to die. But young people, they think they will live forever. And they don't want to pay extra dollar for safety. Of course, when I was young, I don't think I will die. $2,000 a new car. Let's have to watch a video.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's a new car for Pinto car. Case. The study ethics for Pinto case. Let's look at this exactly for Pinto. Ethic, business ethic. I think a lot of parents are running business. Is there something called a business ethics?
Back in the 1970s, with gas prices on the rise, American car buyers were looking for smaller, more efficient models than Detroit was manufacturing. Japanese automakers were experts in just those kinds of vehicles, and they were seizing market share at an alarming rate. Ford's president wanted to rush a car into production to compete. His model was the Pinto, a gas sipper slated to cost $2,000, about $12,000 today. Ford rushed the machine through the early production and testing. Along the way, unfortunately, they noticed a design problem. The gas tank's positioning in the car's rump left it vulnerable to rear-end collisions. In fact, when the rear-end hit came faster than 20 miles per hour, not only might the tank break, but gasoline could be splattered all the way up to the driver's compartment. Fire, that meant, ignited by sparks or anything else, could engulf those inside. No car is perfectly safe, but this very scary vulnerability raised eyebrows.
See, that's a crash test.
Oh my God.
That's a crash test.
Holy. Couldn't you just change where the gas tank was again?
Yeah, you can change that, but it costs money. But the study by the government said, by the company said, if we pay for these dead people, right? People get hurt, we still make money. But if we change the design, we redo everything, it costs more money. Make sense? These young people who buy these small little cars, they are not expensive people. They are not CEOs. They are not generals.
Back in the 1970s.
They are not presidents. So it's easier to pay them to get a settlement. Make sense? So this one is a real criminal trial.
What you looking at?
The Pinto.
Ooh,
The Pinto.
I like it. My kind of car.
Oh, really?
Subcompact.
It's a lot of young people, they don't have much money. They want to buy a beautiful little car to impress their girlfriend, right? Right? Yeah, if I'm at that age, I would do the same thing. But that would be dumb mistake.
Lots of trunk space. What's the price?
Under $2,000
$2,000.
in 1971.
Oh,
Right now will be 12K. It's still affordable to a lot of young people.
It's still a decent
that
way.
makes sense. Still a good deal, though. But why is it here in the Law Museum?
The Pinto was at the center of a very important trial in 1979, State of Indiana v. Ford Motor Company. This was the first time an American corporation was criminally prosecuted, and the whole country was watching.
Why?
Everybody wanted to see if a company could be punished criminally for creating a product, in this case an automobile, that was unsafe.
Yipes.
So this is a really museum of the law, the real legal case this Harvard course talk about. So I'm going to fill in you guys the hole, right? I'm going to fill you guys whole. Whenever they talk about the legal case, I'm show you the legal case. But it's your job to watch it, to take notes. So during the class, we can have a more heatful debate. In order to have a debate, you have to read the material, okay?
So, what was wrong with the Pinto?
Well, the Pinto was created to satisfy two main objectives. Lee Iacocca, who was
Wow, I read his book when I was back in the business school. He was a hero for the Ford company. And I think he then became the CEO of another company, Chrysler. He worked for Ford company, maybe GE and Chrysler, because they have to compete with the Japanese at that time. Lee Iacocca, I read his book. He was called a business hero for the United States when he retired.
executive vice president of the Ford Motor Company, tasked his engineers with creating a car that would weigh less than 2,000 pounds and cost less than $2,000. German and Japanese manufacturers were making lots of money producing subcompact cars, and Ford Motor Company wanted in on the action.
What's wrong with that?
Well, nothing, but I haven't finished the story.
Oh,
Ford was in a hurry to introduce their car into the market, so they accelerated their production time from their usual 43 months to 25 months. Compromises were made. Serious risks associated with the placement of the Pinto's fuel tank were
at the bike. So see, when it's a crash, right? From another car, called rear-ended, right? The leaking explosion.
ignored, despite crash tests resulting in flames.
flames?
Yes, flames. The Rush design placed the fuel tank behind the rear axle instead of over it like most subcompact cars. This left only 9 or 10 inches of crush space. Other design flaws included a thin strip of chrome for a bumper and a lack of reinforcement around the fuel tank. The results, at speeds over 25 miles per hour, the fuel tank ruptured every time it experienced a rear impact.
Yipes. That looks deadly.
It was.
Couldn't they?
Think about the 25 miles per hour. Usually people drive 65. In Texas, 85 sometimes, right? Okay, the speed limit is 60. So it's so easy to get rear-ended people die.
They certainly could have improved the situation. Engineers at Ford came up with several modifications to significantly improve the safety of the vehicle.
But it costs money and it costs time.
So, they did make it better?
No.
How come?
Well, despite the cost being only $11 per car, Ford declined.
Why?
It's hard to say. However, we can gain some insight into the corporate mentality at Ford from an internal report regarding safety, which was leaked to the media.
What did it say?
The document, nicknamed the Pinto Memo, was created by several analysts at Ford. It compared the cost of making safety improvements in advance with the cost.
That means they will time each and every car sold. But only a small percentage will have the accident. It's easier just to pay the lawyers, right? And pay the compensation for this one case. For example, 1,000 cars, there's one crash and death or burn half dead. It's easier to pay this person and pay a bunch of legal fees, make the lawyers rich. They need that to support their family too. Rather than each and every 1,000 car or 10,000, a million car, each one costs $11.
Cost Ford would most likely incur through death and injury lawsuits and lost vehicles.
What?
It's called a cost-benefit analysis. Ford estimated that if they did not fix the safety issues, there would be 180 deaths, 180 injuries, and 2,100 vehicles destroyed. They even determined a value for each loss, $200,000 per death, $67,000 per burn injury, and $700 per lost vehicle, which was the average resale value of a Pinto at that time.
That's crazy.
Well, the public especially didn't appreciate their $200,000 valuation of a human life.
See, should we, so the study is, should we put a price tag on human life or not? But they do that in the business and even the legal discussion each and every time. So I'm sending you this case, okay, Ford Pinto case and the case analysis. And this one is both for law school and the business school. Overall, so this one is from what? State bar. What is the bar? The lawyers. They use it to train lawyers in the great state of Georgia, United States, not Georgia the country, Georgia, United States, the state bar of Georgia. They are making these videos, right, to teach the future lawyers and also teach the public. Also teach the public. So I'm sending you the ethical issues. So this case eventually become what? A must-read case for any law school and sometimes business school. Oh, school of business. School of business. What they're talking about is a managerial ethic. If you're a manager, if you're a CEO, CFO, vice president of a company, the MBA program, man, I'm proud that you endure this class with me. Yeah, they study that in law school for the bar examination and also the MBA program. You need to know how do they think? How do they think? Even though you know a little bit about taxation, how do they make a business decision? And read these cases. We have several minutes. Let's see, relevant facts for company. Did you know? No, read this for me.
Ford launched Pinto in 1971 to compete with German and Japanese compact cars. Pinto was introduced by President Lakota, succeeding in
internal struggle. Go. Ford company.
Aware of the faulty fuel tank often reacted during
Rupture, broke during the rear end impact.
The electors decided too late to resign and the faulty task go into design.
Of course, from the book I read, Lia Coca escaped the criminal charges. Of course, he didn't get criminal charges. Oh, eventually he retired with $1 million at least, and he became an American hero. And he wrote a book about it, about everything else, how he struggled to make another company, Chrysler, succeed, avoid bankruptcy. So he became an American hero. Keep off my rear. I'm an explosive. Okay, so these young people buy a car and then write that down. Keep away from me. I'm driving the car. I'm a teenager. And if you rear end me, I will explode. I will die, and you will die too. satisfied customer are our best advertisement. Wow. Victim's family. They burn the people. Consequence of alternative cause action. What is the benefit? What's our trade-off? Another scenario, right? What if you make the vehicle with a ruptured protection, investing $11 on each? At that time, it's $11. Right now, you have to, with the inflation, you add one more zero probably. Yeah, you add one more zero. That means each vehicle you cost $110. And the company don't want to do that. Obligation, the legal obligation, and we have cartoons. So you have to raise the social obligation. You have to think about this. Oh, and also, of course, reputation. If you are a decision maker, how do you do the decision? You roll the dice, yes, or no, or maybe. You should use the rational thinking. Okay, so that is this cartoon. So have fun. I will see you next week. So join my class. This is going to be a fun class.
Okay.
And we will look at the real legal issues and have fun, survive your final examination. Okay, survive it. Don't take it too seriously. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.